Donkeys dis, the Panzers are here. This message could be heard across the radio on many sections of the front lines, and it wasn't unexpected for Army headquarters. It had only been a matter of time. The first phase of Operation Yekaterina has seen an advance after the initial surprise attack, with the strategic goals of taking Riga and shortening the Ukrainian front. This phase would last until the German army was able to respond, at which point the lines would be consolidated and new goals would be designated for the second phase. With initial rapid advances and encirclements of vast numbers of overrun enemy troops, the Stavka had set their eye on Kiev, but the arrival of large numbers of German tanks concentrating near the weak defensive lines of Bryansk requires a re-evaluation and a progression towards Phase 2, consolidation of the front into defensible lines, tactical withdrawals where warranted, and a more flexible tactical deployment until the lines had stabilized. The concentration of Reichspakt air power over Ukraine shows that they have abandoned the Baltics and are seeing Ukraine as the battlefield on which this great clash of powers will be decided. A significant number of German troops has now started crashing into our lines, and as is clear, Bryansk is their goal. They have identified this as a weak spot in our defensive lines, and rightfully so, because the army has been quite stretched with clearing out and shortening the Ukrainian front lines. So that is an area where we may have to give some ground temporarily if it comes to that, but we'll keep defending the lines for now. The attacking Panzer divisions in the forest are not doing too great, but if they should manage to break through into open territory, that would be a different story altogether. Bryansk itself should be possible to hold as a fallback. We could abandon Khrushchev and fall back to Smolensk, Roslavl if necessary, but we also have operational reserves, and given that renewed German attacks under von Kluge against the Vitebsk line do not free up the 3 divisions that are engaged here. What we can do instead is take the 6 mountain divisions that are currently tasked with cleaning up encircled Ukrainian troops, and instead redeploy these as a backstop towards Bryansk, and that I think is what we're going to be doing. So for now, we'll redeploy them as towards the most, probably actually give them a proper front line, redeploy them towards the sector which is most under attack. So they'll be sent to reinforce defensively while we are clearing out positions elsewhere. Now, ideally, we'd be still shortening the Ukrainian front line. So if we can push through Alexandrivsk and make a move south, then we would have an opportunity here to for once encircle a fair amount of troops, but also significantly shorten the lines and free up infantry to be deployed elsewhere. But in order to do that, we're going to have to still deal with 2 Polish light tank divisions, as well as 13 Ukrainian divisions deployed in the area. So first order of business needs to be to destroy the encircled Ukrainian troops and to bring a bit of an end to this situation here. So, but for that we will also need still some of the mountain divisions. So we'll get 3 divisions to continue the push, and our tanks that have taken Pavlograd are coming under increasing attacks. Plus, we're running low on supply here, so we may be forced to reorganize this all a little bit and see if we can still make that push south. It would be good if we could take Sichislav, but it would be a bridge too far at this point, because the hold of the forward tank divisions under Stefan is a bit tenuous towards the territory that they're deployed in and the supply lines that they're coming with. Now, along the northern lines, we are seeing assaults from various troops. There are some German mountain divisions and significant amounts of German infantry now coming in as well. So troops are moving south to reinforce the lines. And once we have cleared out the encircled divisions in the north, and taking Reval is going to be critical because that will allow us to prevent them from retreating. Then we will have a good amount of troops as well that can be sent to reinforcements. So it's all a matter of time. Bryansk needs to buy time while we are completing the destruction of the encircled division south. And I might actually use the fifth armored as well to assist here, just to speed up the process. Despite the fact that this will widen the lines and allow us to bring more divisions to bear in the north, and push the Ukrainians back as quickly as possible, because that is a critical juncture at this point. We get the 50th in there as well. And now the second is probably not going to be able to hold, so we may actually have to, for now, abandon this push here. Fall back with the 6th and 7th, unless they can, they might be able to hold against the 225th Infantry is very well equipped, the Germans, and this is starting to cause our tanks significant amounts of problems. So I think under these circumstances we will retreat back from the lines, consolidate the northern lines here, and bring whatever troops we have over to begin clearing out the encircled Ukrainians in the north and to free up the divisions. Yeah, we'll have to observe Bryansk. We might have to fall back on certain positions if we cannot hold them, given the sheer number of troops that are showing up here. However, they are relatively poorly supplied. But that does not necessarily mean that we can abandon strategic positions, but we can fall back a little bit into the strategic depth. So far in the air over Ukraine, we haven't seen an awful lot actually. I was expecting a lot more aircraft. So far the loss of we're trading actually quite favorably, but I'm expecting that situation to change as well. So let's have a quick look at our industrial situation. We've got 84 fighters in reserve. I'm going to leave that as is, but the rest of the production is struggling to keep up, and I think we will probably need to get infantry equipment. Garrison is the next problem. Yes, we are having a garrison problem. So we are starting to occupy territory, which means that obviously lots of infantry equipment is required to supply the troops that are dispatched there. Currently it's 50,000 men, but resistance targets are significantly higher. So we are going to need to see how we are going to change that. And I think what are we? We could go into martial law, to be honest, and just mostly suppress that for the time being. And I think that's not a bad one. Let's observe let's have a look at the resistance targets in Ukraine. So I could expect that these are going to be pretty bad. Yeah, 57% resistance, 60% resistance. We are going to have to suppress that quite significantly. So Ukraine that's probably also due to we're prioritizing reinforcements. That's why the garrisons aren't getting any. Okay, we need to balance that out because the garrisons need to get equipment as well, and we have troops in training that are still waiting for equipment too. what are we using currently for garrisoning? We are using the MVD divisions, which makes sense. But these have military police, which means that they need support equipment. And with four infantry units, it's not the most, it's not the best one. The cavalry is none the better because they actually have. We could change the cavalry template and bring mounted cavalry in without the military police. Let me have a quick look where we are research-wise. Military police, we are on 1, so that's 20% suppression bonus, which is good, but the division is too small. So this would need to be a significantly bigger for that actually to have a noticeable effect, which means we're probably going to just retire this, and we're going to instead use the cavalry divisions, and we're going to give this, we're going to make this, we're going to call this like that as well. There we go. And they will be, we'll remove the, we'll just remove the scouts. And for now, they are going to have 16 suppression. So if I was going to throw the MP in there, it'd be 19.2, but it needs support equipment, which we don't have. So this is going to be the better, choice. And they are also going to get a new symbol. I think that was very fitting, if I can find it. There it is. All right, so update that. Okay, and that means we can change the occupation system towards this one. All right, that's better. So now we should be in a we should no longer be needing support equipment, but we still have to change the occupation laws. And I think martial law is probably warranted for now until the front lines have improved, and here as well. Okay. So the integratable territories are getting there, and we'll eventually be able to integrate them into Russia proper, but the newly conquered territories or controlled territories will need to be sorted out. All right, the railway gun, I think we'll redeploy it here, just so it can assist with. We can assist with the. Can we not get through there? We might not be able to, or maybe these lines aren't yet sorted. Okay, we'll deploy them. We'll deploy it here. Can't get through Kharkiv. Okay, or because it's the front line, so they might get shot at probably. So they'll take the long way around. I just want them to assist with the cleanup. So any kind of massed groups of enemy troops will be coming under railway bombardment. All right, so we're gonna have to take it slow and keep a very close eye on things. And we should also, I think, no longer be supplying. We're still sending trade. We're still sending trade through Petrograd. No, we're doing supply transfers from Petrograd to Murmansk. That sounds suboptimal. I would rather not our supply going across the Baltic. So we might actually close the Barents Sea for. We'll get them to avoid the Barents Sea for trade, and hopefully that hopefully that'll help avoiding, or maybe the North Sea is the better place. So we'll just block off the North Sea. Nobody go there. And that should hopefully redirect trade routes overland towards Murmansk. Okay. We do also have to get the submarine divisions to run on split off, because I don't want the whole division to get back to port once one of the submarines takes some damage from bad weather or anything. So these are going just going to detach and then make their way back. It's a different story for the other ones. So we've got some destroyers here which are operating in convoy escorts, but I think that's no longer needed because we're no longer supplying Riga overseas. So we'll simply return them to the Baltic fleet and act as screens there. Okay, so that's under control. All right, so big missions are the Ukrainian front, Bryansk, and the Operation Neptune in the north. It looks like we may be able to hold Pavlograd after all. Let's see, but we don't want to overstretch our supply too much. The more interesting one is if Bryansk can hold, especially this position, because it's coming under attack from 3 armored divisions, and it has trouble piercing these. So regular infantry divisions are not capable of piercing these armored divisions. Yeah, because they've got 29 PS. They're using the 20mm AA, but against the medium tanks, it is not the most effective. Now we don't have production available for anti-tank guns, but we'll deal with things as they go. All right, we have to concentrate forces here and get everybody in on the attack. Okay, and you're probably north. So we are dealing with encircled divisions here. We've got 8 divisions. We've got the 9th Gebirgsdivision. We've got at least 4 more German infantry divisions. And in the north here, we've got 13 divisions, including the Alpenkorps, the 6th Mountaineers, and 3 Panzer divisions. All of them are cut off and encircled. Now the Germans are, or the Reichspakt is redeploying the air force in a desperate attempt of supplying the encircled troops, but I think that group is going to be lost. And yeah, we're now starting to see an uptick of aircraft over Ukraine against, and our Russian fighters are going to be more and more challenged in these positions. Now we could try and take ideally we take the Kharkiv air base, because then we'd have a much better opportunity to operate from here. But I don't think we have the troops for that. We only have got the 1st Armored, and there are 3 German infantry divisions stationed there, so that's not going to happen. Okay, front lines have consolidated a little bit, and we are in a rush to clear out the Ukrainians in the north here as quickly as we can. These need to rapidly redeploy, please. So we're going to hold that, and we're going to get these 2 divisions to Bryansk, and then they can deploy from there. And I think the other one's already on the move. All right, so they need to pack up, take the railway, and make their way towards the front lines. All right, that's holding. So far, Bryansk is a difficult position, but we'll dig in for now, and we'll see how much we can hold. The Baltic troops, together with the Deutsch-Baltische Kampfbrigade, the German Baltic Fighting Brigade, and one of the mountain divisions, are desperately trying to break out. I do hope we can catch these troops. Before they can manage to evacuate. So that would be a big one. But the first losses are coming in, first significant losses here, and the rest of the lines has gone eerily quiet. So we can keep tightening the noose here around the Ukrainian positions. And that's 10, 11, 12, 13 divisions that are encircled. Their available space is getting rapidly reduced, and they have nowhere to run. So these forces will be forced to surrender. The second armored is coming under attack from a German infantry division. Will have to defend itself here, and I think we cannot hold the salient here. We will probably have to retreat behind the river line, and because I don't think the mountain divisions are going to make it there in time. But everything else so far seems to be holding along the line, which means we can again concentrate on the assaults everywhere else, and see that we can finish off the last remaining. There are 4 divisions left, and the first divisions in the north are surrendering as well. Still got 10 enemy divisions waiting. We've got more Russian troops flooding in to clear out the lines. And we can now, I think, we're starting to get divisions. Repopulating the Riga position here in the north. So we can do that. Black Sea. We've got naval combat in the Black Sea. Erich Raeder is in command of a combined Ukrainian German cruiser divisions. That's 7 light cruisers and a vast number of destroyers. So yeah, our submarines are going to have to escape if possible. How far are we with mine laying? I don't think we've gotten very far yet. So there's no way that the Black Sea fleet under Kolchak can contest that. So what's the design of that? There's no way that this group can contest that. So unfortunately, we are confined to our port in Novorossiysk for now, and unless we can take Sevastopol on land and deploy more ships, then not an awful lot is going to happen there. But the mining operations in the Baltic are starting to ramp up. We've got 212 mines deployed to the Gulf of Finland, and five mines in the Black Sea. So not much there yet. All right, where are we here? Okay, so this is rapidly collapsing at this point, which means that we can now, once that has sorted itself, we can look at where we can concentrate our tanks once more. Now, the 11th Panzer Division is currently in Yuzivka, but they're not participating in the Polish assault against our lines. So for now, we're holding here. But we will have to reorganize the front lines once the encirclement here has been cleared, and we definitely don't need these 6 divisions here. So that is 2nd Army. That's 6th Army. We'll just put them here for now, and we'll reorganize the lines here. I'll reorganize the lines here already, because I think this is pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. It should be that the last 4 divisions standing, plus the remaining that are still escaping back, are going to be destroyed. And in the north, we have most of the divisions here participating in the assault on the last holdout of the Baltics. Phase 2 of Operation Yekaterina is starting to pan out. The Casagrandi's 2nd Army of Guard Infantry is getting deployed to the southern Ukrainian sector for the offensive to take Alexandrivsk. And we've got the Drozdovsky's 8th Army currently operating in the Baltics to clear out the last remaining enemy positions. They will be redeployed towards the embattled Bryansk sector, which is currently being tenaciously held by Kanzin's 7th, and they will be participating in the overall push towards taking Kiev. And if that turns out to be successful, that will be a major defensive line for the next step. So we will see how that goes. But for now, we are clearing the last enemy troops here. We've got sabotage going on, so I think no, so far the resistance isn't particularly strong. But what are the resistance targets now? Still very high, and the garrison fulfillment isn't kicking in because of martial law. So I think we have to redeploy equipment towards garrisons where possible, unfortunately. Otherwise, this can spiral out of control very quickly and become very, very costly. So enemy troops here are being wiped out, and it's going to be very, very expensive for the Reichspakt if they cannot manage to get their panzer divisions out. And they're trying to ship them out, I think. But we'll see. The 15th is still fighting, and there's still the 5th Panzer as well. So definitely still ongoings. The position here is not going to be tenable. The 3 tank divisions, and we might be sending some reinforcements here. We'll send the mountain divisions in if they can make it in time, but we can also send a division from the south and see if we can hold the position. Otherwise, we can abandon this. This is no big deal. Everything else has actually held relatively well to this point. Pavlograd has been supplied, and we're waiting for infantry to backfill the lines before the tanks can reorient themselves for the next assault. But for now, we are just finishing up the last Ukrainian divisions here. Okay, that's done. That would be a significant victory. We have destroyed a total of, or rendered combat ineffective, a total of almost 130,000 troops, and they have lost a fair amount of equipment, some of which we have captured, which is due to the maintenance companies, because they do capture some equipment. So that'll actually help with equipment shortages as well by using captured equipment wherever we can. Construction-wise, we're still going through some last-minute fortifications, and I think synthetic refineries are still needed probably, but after that we can get back to military factories. All right, we'll redeploy the railway gun to Kharkiv here, and just have to be careful that the lines actually are held, but that should be able to assist, maybe here. That should be able to assist with the push south, and we actually have held against the assaults near Luhansk, and that line has been stable. So these troops, and that means the 3 mountain divisions here can also rapidly redeploy to Bryansk. And assist the friendly troops there in holding until Drozdovsky's 8th is freed up in the north. So let's observe the battle in the north, where the last enemy troops are being destroyed, and I think we have 96,000 men have surrendered, or in Estonia, or been left on the field of battle. And I think I'm having the day-night cycle on again. And with that, it's just 2 more German tank divisions that are engaged in combat, but they are going to go down relatively quickly as well. And that is going to be a painful loss for the Germans. All right, we are starting to have troops trickle in now, populating the front lines here in the Baltics. So we can, okay, that's, we've been pushed back here. So we're two German tank divisions. We'll wait for additional troops, but I'm happy to just hold this line for now, to be honest. They're trying to follow up, but we've got a defensive position here at the river, so this is going to be hard to retake, but it doesn't really matter. They are they're boxed in here quite well, and that means we can defend. We can be purely defensive here at this point. All right, that's 7th Army Division that somehow got lost in the north, and here we have cleared up. So now it's time to redeploy the armored divisions, including that one there. So we no longer need to. We should no longer need to hold Kharkiv, but we definitely need to wait until there's some infantry up here. But the rest of the divisions, so everybody else, can begin concentrating. Now this is going to become a question of supply, because Pavlograd, obviously, Syczeslav would have been good, but it would have been too vulnerable towards counterattacks. And that means we're probably going to operate from about Pavlograd itself. Kharkiv cannot supply that. It's too far. So if we push south from here, we'll be running very much out of supply. So we'll probably go through here, bypass Alexandrivsk, and just cut off Mariupol. And I think that's the better option here, given the current supply situation. So let's concentrate the tank divisions here, with the operational goal of isolating Mariupol and cutting off this whole eastern sector. We have got actually Georgian submarines as well doing works here, but there's a fair amount of enemy fleet deployment. So I think the keeping the Black Sea Fleet in port is the right decision, and we'll keep mining, and we'll see if we can have some effects out of that. How did that work out with the supply lines? I think we are going to be all right. We have, that's the selling, that's the other direction, and that means we're just shipping goods to Canada, and we'll see if these are coming under attack. But now it's down to these troops can all return already to their respective front lines. Actually, they have the front line here, so we can start redeploying these actually, because I don't think we need these we need these troops here that much. So these parts of the 8th can start redeploying and reinforce Bryansk. And I think we'll be pushing down from the north to begin with. How is the supply situation there? We should be able to supply that. So let's bring them in along the northern flank and see if we can make an infantry push eventually towards Kiev and cut off the northern salient here. So troops on the move. We have a facility strike on Moscow now. The Germans are planning a strike on the land warfare facility. So there is, which means we will probably have to divert some fighter craft to defend Moscow if they're planning that sort of thing. So we'll redeploy. I don't know how many. What do we need? We have to increase our interception missions. Actually, would be up to 500 planes. So interception missions over Moscow. We would need 5 air wings to redeploy. That is very unfortunate. So we'll take 5 wings and get them on interception over the central Russian air region. That means we'll have to halt air operations over Ukraine, because otherwise the rest is going to get slaughtered. So we'll concentrate on trying to intercept that raid. And what else did we need to do? Yeah, so we've got a 48% chance, and we need air superiority. So that should not be hard. We just get some fighter wings over on air superiority, and then we should have an increased chance. Okay, so now we've got a 64% chance to repel the raid. This is a new mechanic. I haven't looked at this yet. I would need tactical strategic bombers to. This is actually quite nice. That gives a lot of new new tasks to these sort of strategic destruction forces to these raids. Quite nice mechanic. But okay, these also need to stop for now. So everyone gets grounded, except for the defense on Moscow. And we will see if we can repel the raid against the land warfare facility, where we are currently researching the super heavy howitzer. So that's ongoing. We have a trade on our infantry equipment. So we have, what else do we have here? Reliability we could get. This would be severely reducing the production efficiency gain, but make it significant, give it a significant amount of breakthrough here, honestly. Production cost plus 15%, but it's better. So 50% production efficiency gain debuff, that's quite significant. So right now our production efficiency is high, but how far are we from having to switch? We're still over a year off, so that might actually be worth it, just for the quality. Yeah, we'll do it. So we'll update the trait, and with that, we should be having. And yeah, now I think I have to. Yes, I have to manually change that. All right, there we go. So with that, our infantry equipment should be noticeably better. Okay, it doesn't actually show here, but well, since what we're mostly fighting with is infantry, we're actually getting naval bombardment from the Black Sea here against the positions near Mariupol, which is irritating to say the least. Casa Grande gets shelled, but there's simply not an awful lot we can do about this. So the Georgians are fighting, but they're fighting a bit of a losing battle here. And we are about to destroy the last stand of the German Panzer divisions in the north here. And I think once that is done, then and we've taken Reval. There we go. Reval has been taken. That is going to be a significantly. Yeah, that was a painful loss for the Germans. So they have lost. Let's see. Can we find how many tanks they've lost? 500 Panzer Is, 23 Sturmpanzerkampfwagen 2, 37 Sturmpanzerkampfwagen 4, and another 16 of the Panzerkampfwagen 2, plus a fair amount of other things. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to capture any of this because we don't have maintenance equipment here. But that means that now we can get the complete 8th Army redeployed towards the lines here, while the rest of the troops can move on to their frontline positions here and hold the lines. All right, in Bryansk we're holding the lines now much better against the German panzer divisions that are trying to break through, and we'll see if the mountain troops. No, I don't have piercing either, so not an awful lot going to happen there, but they can help hold the bridges. We are getting counterattacked here quite significantly in Pavlograd, and that means we're still waiting for some tank divisions. But since we are here, we're going to begin operations actually south, and we will see if we can push through. So the goal will be to isolate Mariupol, and then we'll just push west from there. We don't currently have aerial superiority, so this is going to be a little more difficult than it otherwise would be. But maybe we can overrun the Ukrainians quickly enough that something can be done with it. We have okay. We should have. Why do we have only 7% from air superiority? We should have aerial. We should have. Okay, no, we've got 8. We've only got 88% air superiority, so I would need some more fighter wings on air superiority over the Russian air zone, and that should hopefully push that up a little bit more. All right, equipment seized. United Baltic Duchy has capitulated. Vladimir III has announced that the cowardly Baltic nation could no longer withstand the pressure from the overwhelming presence of Russian forces throughout the country. The Baltic government chose to flee and has gone into exile. Their main forces have capitulated and the Russian Empire is now in control of their home area. All right, so that means probably redrawn front lines. Yes. So we now have, we're now in an interesting position that we are technically in control of the area south of the river. However, we don't have the forces here to exploit that. So they'll probably retake the territory here. That's fine. This is the defensive line we're holding. This is no longer the Schwerpunkt. So instead of overstretching here and creating a new hassle and the potential for naval invasions in the rear or anything like that, we'll stay at this line. If they retake the territory, that's fine. We'll capture that eventually, but the more important front lines are now elsewhere. So let's go in for the Ukrainian front, where we have another. Our tank designer is actually having another one. So we've already taken increased muzzle velocity, and that's exclusive with this one. So we could get plus 0.5 entrenchment, or we could get heart attack and piercing. I think heart attack and piercing is good, and we will need to revisit our tank designs actually sooner rather than later. So right now, what do we have in stockpile? We've got 50 self-propelled artillery. We're starting to get there. So eventually the guard infantry will be supplied with the self-propelled artillery. How far are we from the next? The improved heavy chassis is 57 days away. So that's when we'll update all the production lines. Okay, so tanks are on the move. And we're pulling the 7th out of Pavlograd because of lack of supply. In fact, they can actually participate in the assault, and we've got additional tank divisions that can participate here as well. So with that, we are making a move south, and we'll just have to keep an eye. On the situation everywhere else. Renewed attacks in the north. Why are all these divisions just standing there? No, please move onto your designated points on the front lines. And it's probably because they're on rigid cohesion, is it? Okay, that's fine. We'll redeploy them to their designated areas on the front lines, where the 18th is currently under heavy attack. So reinforce the lines here, please, and hold until reinforcements arrive. No, you were not supposed to be assaulting here. I don't know who gave you that idea. Kharkiv is now actually in with proper infantry defense. So we'll continue our push south here, and we can probably just widen the front lines a bit since we're at it. Because these 5 tank divisions will leave 1 to defend, and the raid is still incoming. So we'll have to hope that our aircraft can be dealing with that. Let's see what the situation is now. 61%. It's as good as it gets. If they do that more often, we might have to start building some air defense, to be honest. But for now, they're assaulting the Riga positions. Everyone here is moving onto their front lines, and we are getting additional. We're redeploying additional mountain troops along the lines here. This position is now coming under significant assault as well. They should be able to hold that, but we can probably bring one more mountain division here, because we've got a fair amount of them now. So reinforce the front lines, hold the line against the relatively heavy German attacks. Stop useless assaults against front positions, and concentrate on the operation. And I think the forward operation is about to complete the cutoff and encirclement. There we go. And we'll send an additional armored division over. So immediately begin cleanup operations. Now that Mariupol is isolated, we can get all infantry divisions to commence attacks, and we've got 2 tank divisions holding in the south, which means we can try to cut off the port of Mariupol. That is going to be the first. Operation that will start. So we'll support that from both sides, and still keeping an eye on the raid. They're trying to, of course, immediately. They're trying to rescue their embattled comrades here, but I don't think they're going to get through that. But we do have to keep an eye on the other situations here. All right, we've now started deploying the 67th Mountain. Which is a very combat experienced division. And we'll see if we can hold that assault against 5 German Panzer divisions. So the need for anti-tank guns is becoming apparent, really. So our regular infantry divisions are probably going to be in need of anti-tank guns. At least some specialized forces to take on these German tanks. So the 45mm anti-tank cannon needs to be produced, and that is still going to take a while because we have no factories available. But that is going to be probably one of the first priorities, so we can start equipping some divisions with the capability of taking on armored forces. So we're starting to see some significant German-Ukrainian counterattacks on Pavlograd, but I think once, even if Pavlograd falls, this is a fluent front line. The bigger part is that we have cut off yet another German Panzer division. The 11th Panzer is trapped. And we've also caught 2 Polish light divisions, if we can manage to push them out of the port. Currently, there are 2 German infantry divisions holding the lines here, but that's the 931st and one more. So all in all, however, we have trapped another fair amount of enemy troops here. So German tanks now showing up at the Kerch Strait, so it's good that we've deployed a fair amount of firepower there. And overall, we are in. What naval battles do we have going on here? Naval invasions being planned in the Baltics. Yeah. That is obviously, they are planning to run naval invasions to retake the Baltics, which means we do need to rapidly deploy troops there, which means we're just going to get them to be deployed in Pskov. We're going to instantly deploy these troops, and these 10 divisions are going to join the. In fact, we're going to give them their own army here. We should have somebody around. Wittkowski. So Wittkowski's newly deployed, relatively green troops are going to be tasked with holding the ports along the Baltics. So you will be on area defense and you're supposed to guard the naval bases. Yeah. So these troops are going to move into place, and ideally you'd be moving to Narva, if you don't mind. Okay, everyone's on the move. So these troops will hold the naval bases, and against the, it looks like they're going to start invading from Gotland. I would expect that. So these troops will also be used to, if necessary, push back any kind of invaders that are coming in here, and clear the lines. In fact, we might deploy a few guards divisions. Let's get 4 of them in, and these 4 for now will be joining that force, and that means we have some firepower, even though these are green troops and they're not fully equipped, but we have some firepower to react to Baltic operations. That's why we were mining, so because we currently can't take on an invasion force that is well supported. However, we do have the Baltic fleet in combat operations or combat readiness, so they are on strike force in case somebody should sail out to land in the ports in the north, and we can deal with it when it comes to that. The lack of air power, because everything's most wings are concentrated now on the homeland, is rather infuriating, to be honest, and it makes they're starting to send bombers in as well here, so we need to start shooting those down. It makes offensive operations in Ukraine so much more difficult than it needs to be. So we've got the railway gun deployed to the front lines. It's just a bit more forward than I would like it to be, but we'll clear that position. We've got heavy infantry assaults from combined Ukrainian-German troops against Pavlograd. We have infantry that'll reinforce these positions as soon as we have cleared the situation here. And in fact, it looks like the third armament is completely uncontested here in the south. So we may as well take some territory since we're at it. Mariupol has been taken, which means that the enemy troops are pretty much cut off, and then we can see if we can relieve the assault here a little bit on Pavlograd. We get additional infantry there as soon as it shows up. But if we get pushed back here again, it's not the end of the world. We have supply. Do we have supply? Mariupol is connected. It will be connected by railway through the north. So even if we lose the Pavlograd railway line, it's not going to be the end of the world. But we now start to have some tank divisions that we can use to begin assault operations against Ukrainian troops east of Pavlograd, east of Alexandrivsk, and we'll see if the 103rd Guards can make it into Pavlograd in time to defend against the Ukrainian assault here, while the rest of the troops works on clearing out the large number of encircled enemies. All right, we have also another trait. Which one is this? I can't remember what we use that for. Where are we? That's for trucks. Okay, that's for trucks. So, okay, actually we can get a free military factory. Yeah, I'll take that. I think that's probably the most useful for now. I don't think there was any other. We get a free military factory in Yaroslavl. We'll take it. The raid still hasn't happened, so we're still concentrated on We're still concentrated on trying to repel that potentially, and we've pushed enemies, the enemies out of Western Russia. So don't know if they still have the raid ongoing, but it'll be good if we could focus back on Ukraine with the Air Force here. Okay, infantry assist. Let's see if we can push them back towards Alexandrivsk. And so far, no naval invasions by the looks of it. Troops are moving into positions, so defensive troops are being stationed, and we're getting close to deleting the last remaining enemy forces. There we go. Massive surrender. All in all, almost 180,000 troops have surrendered. And again, we have captured some equipment, which is always very valuable. So losses are staggering for Ukraine. And that means we can now redeploy these forces. Pavlograd has fallen, actually. And that means we can redeploy. That's fine. We'll just have to pull back the railway artillery. And see where we need that next. But absolutely staggering losses for the enemy troops. The German armored fist has ground to a halt. The support from the 5th Army under Owen Sternberg has helped holding the line for now. And with the arrival of Drozdovsky's 8th Army, I think we are going to go back to the offensive as the next phase of Operation Yekaterina. Once the announced raid against Moscow, this is a political item. We cannot have the enemy bombing Moscow. That would cause significant distress in the population. So we are going to once that's defeated, going back on the offensive, and I'm not sure we'll be taking Kiev. We've still got 90 days. Well, 90 days to capture Kiev. We are still in summer, so operations along the plains, but we're obviously faced with the German armored fist here, and right now have not really gotten much of a recourse against them, but the southern operations are going well. The Ukrainian lines are faltering, so we can take Kherson, and then cut off Crimea that way. That would also be a significant loss for the enemy. Other than that, the main offensive is going to go towards Kiev, but the crush of the German armed forces, the hammer blow, has been less severe than initially anticipated, and we so far have not yet seen the Third International joining. So we're looking at I don't know which war it is that they've been joining here. It's the Egyptian. So the Egyptian-Persian War is the Second Weltkrieg. We're still overall significantly outnumbered by more than 2.5 to 1, but the losses on the enemy side are absolutely staggering. The German Empire has lost almost 200,000 troops. Most of them have surrendered from the initial surprise attack. So despite the fact that Wrangel has been less than honorable in that, we have made the gains have been speaking for themselves. Obviously, Egypt and the Cairo Pact itself has had quite some losses, but the Ukrainians as well. The Ukrainian losses are staggering, and so far, despite the arrival of German troops, we have been able to make gains at strategic areas in the front lines, and it'll show that the Russian army, despite certain lacks in production and equipment, is not to be underestimated.